Okay, thanks everyone. So my name's Jodie Duignan-George and I'm the head of Seeker University here in Cairns, but I'm also the chair of the Cairns Region Jobs Committee. And what is the Cairns Region Jobs Committee, you may be asking? Basically, it's a committee that was established to address workforce issues and identify skills requirements within the Cairns area in order to drive local growth and a plan for the future. In other words, RJCs develop solutions to local skills and workforce needs. And the Queensland Government funds and supports RJCs across the site. I like to see, in terms of our collaboration with Michael's group, I like to see ourselves as a bit of a sister committee. So we work on slightly different things, but where there's matters of interest to both, we will join forces. And this is the second item that we've joined forces on, third actually, third. So there you go, doing well. So this just gives you a bit of an idea of who's on the committee. So basically we have a whole lot of industry leaders from some priority areas. We have representatives from schools, from TAFE and universities, in the hopes that we actually have brought together a fairly good representation for a jobs and skills ecosystem, so we can make sure that we're working with the right data. So the RJCs support the Queensland Work Strategy 2022-2032 that Michael spoke about earlier. So basically the five main pillars of this is workforce participation, workforce attraction and retention, local solutions, the school to work transitions, which is where we're working most closely with RCEP, and skilling Queenslanders now and into the future. So just in terms of the types of things that we do, we were heavily involved in the 23 and the 24 Maritime Careers Open Day. We ran the 2023 Tourism and Hospitality Careers Expo. Next year, which is really exciting, we're going to run a health expo. We have advocated for a range of things. We work with across a number of industry sectors. We contribute to not just the Queensland Workforce Summit, but a whole lot of other things in workforce planning and regional and industry workforce workshops. We have contributed to a number of workforce development plans that were compiled by Jobs Queensland, and work with SMEs to support the attraction and retention of staff. In collaboration with RCEP, we have been party to the Career Guidance Forum and, of course, this pathway session today. Now, to our mind, the RJC's interest in this particular collaborative session is just the notion that sometimes local students and parents are not necessarily aware of the data that's coming out about the regional workforce. So what are the jobs of the future? What's currently happening in town? Where are things starting to expand? So where are those jobs going to be when you as young people or your young people graduate from high school? It's really, to my mind, it's really important that young people and parents are aware of that kind of data, because it can really be helpful in helping to narrow a focus of where you might want to be, because everyone wants a job at the end of the day, don't they? And it's also really good to know kind of what's actually happening nationally and across the state. So, for example, Jobs and Skills Australia estimates that over the next decade, more than 90% of new jobs will require post-school qualifications. And they're estimating about 50% of those will be bachelor degree or higher, and about 44% will be VET. So that's a really interesting statistic that you may not have known before, but those kinds of things are really helpful to try and kind of get to contextualise what the job environment's going to be in the next few years. Now, if this is of interest to you, the RJC do have a website. We're still in the process of pulling all of this together, but what we're trying to do is make it a bit of a one-stop shop for any data or reports to do with workforce planning, workforce projections. And even though a lot of the data on there at the moment is probably geared more towards the employer market, we are working on that. And there is plenty of general stuff. So You can get access to the Jobs Queensland's report on anticipating the future workforce needs, and also Jobs and Skills Australia's labour force trends and occupation priority lists. Given the size of tonight's program, I might end there, but just urge you to visit our website if you have the opportunity. Hope you really enjoy the night.